We continue to look back at St. John's run to the state finals in lacrosse with head coach Andy Smith and Mason Bowers. Tom Cole joined them in studio today discussing how Mason's upbringing helped him as an athlete and how the Titans will continue to stand tall in many more seasons to come.
Hi, Tom Cole, the coach for BCSN, and you're on our new segment called Looking Back. And it's certainly an honor and a privilege to welcome in two really outstanding athletic stars. We've got a great coach, Coach Smith, lacrosse at SJ, St. John's Jesuit High School, and Mason Bowers, defenseman, captain, right, junior, coming back now next year. And also, Coach told me off air that you're also the kind of off-season captain, is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
So Mason, what does that mean? You got to get on a cell phone and call guys and say, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Are you lifting? Are you running? How does that work?
Yeah, it's more just upkeep, make sure that guys are keeping their stick in their hands, and we got workouts in the summer, so we try to get some throw rounds in July. August though is a no contact month for OHSAA, so we can't do anything in August except lift. But basically just kind of be the bridge between the coaches and the players and stay in contact with the guys.
Mason, do you have to get on guys sometimes? Does that happen?
Not as much as you might think. I mean, our guys, they love what they do. Yeah, that's why we go as far as we go every year, and the guys love it, and that's just the determination they have. So.
You should be hosting the show, Mason. That's a better segue than what I was going to make to Coach. Coach, I was fortunate at SJ. It's got a St. John's thing going on here. We made a state run in football, and we got to the quarterfinals in football and played Massillon and lost in a tough game in the Akron Rubber Bowl in front of 20,000 people. That was a unique experience. You guys got to the state championship in lacrosse. I found when you make that run, there's a game along the way that you go, oh man, maybe we shouldn't have won it, but we won it. Was there one like that for you where you said, boy, we got it, but it was tough?
It was an odd run because I know even Mason talked to me a bunch of times being a captain about things that were going on during the season that we wanted to be better at and to do better. And I kind of felt like we were balancing on the knife's edge where we could lose the whole locker room at any moment, but if things went just the right way, we could make a nice deep run. And so I'd say up until the championship, every single game we played in, it really felt like we had a great shot even though we were the underdog for the last few. Maybe the university school game, after starting goalie goes down, maybe you start to feel like, things might not go our way, but the guys got really into it. The fans were amazing in that game. Yeah. And they just tied everything together and kept going forward.
Coach Smith, what's tough? Every sport, there's a unique toughness to teaching it. What's tough about teaching lacrosse? I mean, you got fine young, people like Mason, great students, smart, athletic. But there has to be a tough side to lacrosse. What's tough about teaching lacrosse?
We're sort of the ultimate second sport. So there's a good core of guys who understand the sport, they love the sport, they come out every year. But then there's another group that maybe they're one-year players or maybe they've never picked up a stick before, and you got to figure out how to not only teach them the game, but get them involved and feeling like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And if they can feel like they're a part of that locker room, the kind of effort that they give is just so much more.
That's so well said, Coach, because that's what everybody wants to be part of something. Everybody wants to feel they can belong. And you don't have to be the star. Not everybody is going to be the star, but if you understand your role, you're giving back to the team, you get the respect. I respected the guys that weren't starters more than the guys that started, because they went to practice every day and they gave everything they had, and they weren't getting the accolades and they weren't getting those things, but they went out there every day and played that hard. Mason, I would assume, knowing the kind of young man that you are, you'd feel that same way about the kids that don't start.
Yeah, for sure. And every year after tryouts, we give out chips, and it's coach in the meeting with the player, and the player's accepting their role in the team. And it's just like kind of a mutual respect thing, and you think about that all year. All the players do. And it's a respect for each other and a respect for the coaches that we have that it's special.
Yeah, Mason, you and your coach might like this. One of my grandkids plays football at Ottawa Hills. He plays basketball. He's good at it, but he was looking for another sport that he loves football. And I said, hey, lacrosse, so he didn't know anything about it. We went out and bought the gear for him, and I said, now you're gonna, not like I know anything about lacrosse. I know this much about lacrosse, but I didn't know that you got to practice the stick skills. I said, you're gonna have to get somebody to do that with and learn how to do it and all that. And my gosh, he loves it now. I mean, absolutely loves it. Are the stick skills, for somebody that's new to it, is that a hard thing to pick up?
I think that's probably the hardest thing to pick up. And a lot of guys don't come from a sport where you have to have hand-eye coordination in that sense. So I felt like I picked up stick skills a little bit sooner because I didn't start playing till my freshman year of high school. I didn't play at all youth.
Oh my God.
But because I'm a hockey player, I felt like my hand-eye coordination was a little bit more there. But football players, they're strong, they can understand the game, but the stick skills definitely lag a little bit, and I would agree with that for sure. And if you have stick skills at the start, it gives you a big jump.
A big advantage.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you, and we've got your mom and dad in the studio, which we're so honored that they're here. But I got to ask you this, because I think it's probably a plus. I'm sure it's a major plus. But your dad was a standout football player at Bowling Green, championship caliber, and all of that. How did that help you? Just his athletic background and probably his encouragement. I'm sure your mom gave you great encouragement. How did they help you in their own way? Give me how mom helped you, and give me how dad helped you.
Well, for my dad, of course, I mean, he was a captain at BCSN as well. And I just growing up around the house, the pictures of him and his boys holding hands, walking on the field together, I mean, that's been instilled in me since I was a young kid, and that's just something that still I think about today. And with my mom, I think the big thing is just being more understanding for everyone, especially when I moved from just being a player, underclassman, to being an upperclassman, a senior, a leader. And it's like being able to understand people and be more than just, a lacrosse teammate, and be just more of a brother to the people.
Yeah. Because everybody's not like you or me or coach. And if there's one thing the sport does, it certainly brings people together. And it allows people, everybody wants to fit in. Everybody wants to be part of something. I taught for 30 years, and when I would see a youngster at a lunch table sitting by himself, that's an issue. And sport can solve that issue. You're a member of a team. Everybody wants to be part of something. Coach, you get to the precipice of a state championship, right? And I'm sure you got so many people asking you, hey, Coach Smith, that was really good, but what are we doing next year? So hey, Coach Smith, that was really good, but what are we doing next year?
Yeah, it's sort of the same thing for the coaches as it is for the players.
Okay.
Our coaches have some experience being in state championships in Division III years ago in lacrosse, but we learn new lessons every year just like the kids do. And the losses we put in 22 against Chagrin in the Final Four, and then in 23 to Olmsted Falls, helped prepare us as a staff to know what it would take to get to this point. And so now we're looking to build on that with this same group of guys. We've got a lot of guys in the locker room that are 3- and 4-year letter winners, to sort of take that group of guys, fill in the gaps, and see if we can rekindle that magic again and raise the standard of what it means to be a St. John's lacrosse player every year.
Well, SJ is very, very fortunate to have a man of your caliber coaching these young student athletes in lacrosse, and I know how much that means. And I know how much role modeling that is for the young men. So we thank you so much for what you're doing. And Mason, the same goes to you as a student athlete. I know you do a great job with your grades. I know you're a class act in the hallways and in the school, and you treat people well. And I think everybody needs, I don't care what your age is, everybody needs mentors. Everybody needs role models. Everybody looks to somebody to, okay, that's how you do it. And you don't realize, but the younger guys are watching. Right? Here, how did Mason handle that? Everybody's great when things are going well, but when you face adversity, they want to know then, well, what did Mason do? What did Coach do? Did they pout? Did they cry? Or did they get up off the floor and say, let's go and let's get it done, and that's the end of it? And to me, that's why sports are important. So, Coach, I know you had a tight schedule today. We took you away from your camp, and appreciate you being here. And Mason, all the congrats on this last season. And I know people are going to be asking you, let's go back to the state championship again, okay?
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll be watching you on BCSN. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks for having us.
My honor. Tom Coley, coach for BCSN, and guess what? You've been watching Looking Back.